Hey everybody, it's me, Ann Jeanette, AJ from AJ's Personal Touch. How you doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Today is Thursday, June 27th. I am coming today at you to remind you the last cal is officially over. Honestly, mine's not done. Um, and mine's not going to be done probably for another couple weeks because I need to order some more yarn. It's not quite as big as I wanted it. I thought I had another skein and I don't. So I need to order some from Mary Maxim. And I'm either going to get it ordered tonight or I have to wait until after the beginning of the month until I have my regular monthly money that I pay for bills and have my little additional left. And I can't believe I just started talking without welcome back to my subscribers and welcome into anybody new. Um, it's been a busy week. We went to Chicago yesterday. I had my my yearly study, physical and everything in Chicago, and that's where I have. It's nice when you're in a study, you get paid for what you're doing. And it used to be that it only covered our gas to get there and back. Now I have a little bit extra. So that's what I'm using right now to get some things for my aunt, like I asked about in the last one. I did get her a hook today. It's in my pocket. I got her an ergonomic boy hook. Now, I was told by my friend Kathy that they had them in sets of 3, and I told her I had looked, I couldn't find them. Well, when I was at Meijer today, they have them actually in sets of 4. But what I don't understand is these are $3 and some change at Meijer. Other places, they're almost $7. Um, so Meijer seems to be the best price wise. I think they were 3 something at Hirschner's, but then of course you got to pay for shipping. Um, but for some reason, the 4-pack was $18 and something. But I did notice this has like the regular steel color on the hook, and the 4-packs had kind of like a rose gold color on it. So that might be why. But then you can get the whole pack of 24, or no, of 12 hooks for $24.99, which is 24, 12. Yeah, pack of 12 hooks, which I believe is an F. I I don't remember. F through M maybe. I don't know. But it was 12 hooks, and then I figured it out to, well, it would be about just over $2 a piece. So, which would bring them, if you round it up, to 3. But I would think that the little bit of change, it would actually round down to still around 2, which is the best buy. And I have seen that on sale, but I can't remember again if it was Hirschner's, but they don't have them in yet. They're not coming in until July. But I only wanted to get her one for now for her to try because we don't know if she's even going to like it. We went to see her yesterday and she showed me, she has a whole set. She has a whole set of steel hook sized and regular sized tapered head hooks. It is a generic set. Um, it looks actually like a set that my husband got me that I have in the back room. And I'm not sure how many are in there, at least maybe 20. And she's like, I have these, but as you guys know, I want to save her hands. I would like to get her something more ergonomic that will fit her. Now, I did make sure to tell my husband because he's supposed to go see her tomorrow, and I cannot go with because I do have a phone appointment here at home tomorrow. the second half of my Chicago stuff. All the stuff that I can answer over the phone so I don't have to sit there for hours in the office while we do it, which makes it nice. Because otherwise we can be there sometimes 4 to 6 hours, and that's just way too much in one day. They can split it up for the other people who live in Chicago, but you know, we don't never split mine up because then we would have to go twice instead of once. And we used to have to go twice a year every 6 months, and now we go once a year. So, but anyway, what I told him to make sure to tell her is her hand may hurt for the first day after she uses an ergonomic hook. And I try to tell this to everybody I know because I know there are content creators who still use stick hooks and they say they use them because they're more comfortable. They've tried using ergonomic hooks, but the thing is, and what people don't realize is your muscles have been trained to use these smaller hooks. Just like in anything, if you're switching a keyboard from a regular keyboard to an ergonomic keyboard, the same thing happens. You're used to using it, using your muscles the bad way. And then when you switch it to something that's ergonomic for you to use your muscles the right way, it's going to hurt because you're retraining your muscles how to work. I was switched to an ergonomic keyboard at work, and the first week I used it, at the end of the week, I told my boss, you got to get rid of this. I can't use it anymore. This is just killing me. And he's like, give it a while, just, you know, and this was before I had any, you know, of my training, my massage training, you know, and I would have known had I gone through my massage classes already. He was just, give it another week. And after that second week, it felt wonderful. And my back wasn't killing me. And, you know, I had so many improvements. But that's because I gave it time to work. If you don't give it time to work, just know it's probably going to end up hurting you the first time you use it. So it just makes sense. You got to retrain your muscles to do what they're supposed to do. Now, I don't know. I do think she may have a pencil grip and not a knife grip. And so it may not matter as much for her anyway. I have a knife grip, so ergonomics work fantastic for me. Let me know if you happen to use a pencil grip and what you think of using an ergonomic hook. Now, I do know there are other people, like friends of mine, who have tried ergonomic hooks and they will not use them because they say they hurt, and have given it a go. So, you know, everybody's body is different, and that's, you know, but always, always at least, at minimum, give it 3 days to work. I would say give it at least 2 weeks, but at minimum 3 days. Okay, so we are not doing the Cal or anything this next week. It's the week of 4th of July. I'm taking the week off. We have our concert we're going to on the 3rd. But I have a lot of cleaning off to do on this computer, and I'm going to need more than a week to do it in. But that is my big plan, is my days at home I'm going to be spending working on this computer to get it into shape, because Windows is no longer going to be updating Windows 10 after, if I remember, October 14th. So I've got to get this cleaned before then, before I put Windows 11 on it. I don't want to put Windows 11 on a computer that's just not working right. It just doesn't seem right to me. And I truly think all I really need to do is get it cleaned off, because I have way too much memory on it. I get a little thing telling me all the time there's too much memory on it. So I keep trying to get it cleaned off. And part of that is my fault for having so many email addresses, but once I get them cleaned off, it's going to be so easy every day to go and, you know, trash all the emails that I don't need. I just need to, once I get it done, make sure that every day I go on and get off the ones I don't need to save. I do have folders in my email that I save important things to that get sent to me. I plan on going through those folders to see if I still use all the stuff. Some of it may be for a web page I don't use anymore so that I can get rid of everything. But for the stuff that I do save, it's all saved in folders, and I just want to make sure it's saved there, and it's not also saved in my the regular part of my email, because then it's on there twice, and I don't need things on there twice. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Plus, I'm going to be setting up my charting so I can finally start charting for some designers. I have somebody patiently waiting for me who wants me to start. So I've got that. Plus, I've got my back room. You know, I got lots to do back there. So, sorry, I'm parched and I'm like almost to the end of my drink. So, here we go. I want to show you the pattern. I did print it out, but it's not in there, of course, of what we're doing for Christmas in July Cal. We will be starting on the 9th, Tuesday the 9th, and we are making this cute snowman hanging dishcloth. Now, I will make sure that I have the link to get this down below. I did save it in my last video that I talked about this in, when I talked about this last Tuesday being the last day of the Cal that we're on now, and that we would be starting this in July. And this pattern is by Snappy Tots. So it's at snappytots.com. Isn't that cute? I just think that is so cute. So far, everybody who's seen it likes it. I asked at least 4 people before I decided what I was going to do for July, and everybody loved it. They're like, yes, I want to make it. I want to make it. So that's what we're doing. It will be great either for a decoration in your home, and it will also be great for those people that you know who love snowmans to give as a gift. I'm going to make as many of them as I can in that 3 weeks time. And we meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 hours on each of those days. So a total of 4 hours a week, starting at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, going until 7 o'clock. Sometimes we may go a little bit later. You can stay if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. And you don't have to stay for the whole time either. There's a couple of us who like to work at this, you know, start each part together. But with something like this, we really shouldn't have to do that. I did go, I got 2 things of sugar and cream white. So I didn't have a lot of white. But like I said, I want to make more than one. You need, of the white, it says you need 100 yards. So regular sugar and cream, this is 120 yards. I know I wanted to make at least 2. So I have those. Well, I had raided my back room before we left to go to the store for me to get that hook for Aunt Lee. Plus she wanted some puffy paint. She needs to put some dots of puffy paint on the bottom of some socks, so to make them skid free. So when I was in my back room earlier, I found I have a full one of Mainstay, and this has 180 yards. So I knew I wouldn't have enough for 2, but I would have enough for 1. And the only other white I could find back there was this little bit here, which I figure may have 20 yards. But they are, if you look at them close, they're like just a little bit off on the colors. And the construction of the yarn itself looks a little different. So I did go ahead and get these just to make sure that I could make 2 of them that look alike in case Like if I use one here, I'll probably just keep one. But if I make a set to give away, probably for my mom, you know, I'm going to want two that look the same. I'm thinking my mom loves snowmen. I did find, because you need orange for the nose. This is more of a gold that I'm going to use instead of an orangey orange for the nose. And this is Premier Just Cotton that came from the Dollar Tree. And then this is also, I think, actually, no, this may be Lily Sugar and Cream, some leftover red that I have because there's the little heart that is on the snowman. And then the other three pieces you have is the hat, and then the brim of the hat, and the scarf. And it said for each section you're going to use about 30 yards. So I have this blue green one here that my mom would absolutely love. And then I figured I could use this with it. So maybe the hat, the scarf, and the brim out of this. I'm thinking maybe. And then the other colors I found back there that I think I want to use, like if I make one for here, is it's purple and pink and blue multi. And I have some off-white, so I may use the off-white for the brim. I don't know. And plus, if I make one of these for Aunt Lee, that she could hang up in her room, she loves purple and pink, so that would work for her as well. So, and I did just find the yarn to use for a shawl for Aunt Lee that I want to make her for Christmas. So I don't know if I would give her one of these or not. I just think if I can make as many of them that I can, it would be great. I could have one for my mom, at least one for my mom, one for my sister-in-law, and one for my nephew and his wife. Although they're getting a big blanket they're the ones getting that blanket that I'm making for Christmas. So that is that. And I'm trying to think. I have worked on everything. I'm not going to show you all of my works in progress today. I will wait until I come on and I have a little bit more time. Maybe tomorrow. I'm going to be home alone for a while. And I can do that. I've worked on the baby blanket, worked on the shawl, of course. I've worked on my knitting. I got all this stuff out to start making my son-in-law's birthday gift. Oh, I've been working on a whip that I want to get done. And it's a very bright orange. I think I may have showed it on my last video. It's my goddaughter's baby blanket. I was working on that the other day. And it shouldn't take me too much longer to get that finished. And then I can finish the one that I was making for her brother, which is the crochet along that Bod was doing for the baby blanket that she used all the different Sesame Street yarns on, except for I'm not using Sesame Street yarn. I'm using just one color of yarn, but it's got lots of colors in the yarn. It's one of those that you can have two skeins next to each other and you don't realize it's the same color yarn because of all the different changes, how the yarn changes throughout them. I do apologize if every time he goes out that door, if it is loud. I don't think he realizes he shuts it as hard as he does. What else do I have here? The Christmas blanket. And I only have 3 squares done, and 2 of them really aren't completely done because I don't have the borders around them. I need to do that. And then I've got my snowflake I want to start on. And then I have, depending on which blanket I do, when I got the pattern and bought it, I knew I was going to do all 12 squares. Well, now I'm thinking I'm just going to do 9. And I've got to decide which 3 I'm taking off. So I don't know. I I haven't quite decided. I need to look them over again. I know right now I'm trying to get the ones that I know for sure I want on it. Like I've done the angel, I've done the stocking, I've done the ornament, I'm getting ready to do the snowflake. I already have the snowman one printed off. I was going to do the snowman one next, but then I decided I better get the hardest one done, and the snowflake looks like the hardest one. And then I've got to decide what the other four are I'm going to do. Part of me does not want to do Santa. And it's not because I don't love Santa. I love Santa. And for those of you who know me, I truly believe in Santa. I truly believe in the spirit of Santa. That's what I said. I was trying to find the word that I always say. And my nephew teases me all the time. You really believe it? And I'm like, yeah, I believe in the spirit of Santa because people are more giving at Christmas time. And I know a lot of other people would say that's the spirit of Christ and his birthday. And yes, I totally believe in that as well. But there are a lot of people, unfortunately, who say they do not believe. And even though I do in Jesus and God and that they're my Lord and Savior, there are a lot of people who say they don't believe, but they believe in doing goodness and kindness out of their heart at Christmas time. So therefore, I call it the spirit of Santa. Um, but if I know it's somebody who is, who is like me and who is a believer, then yes, I truly believe it's, it's the spirit of the season. Whether it's the spirit of Santa, the spirit of it's everybody likes to give at Christmas time. Although, unfortunately, just like everything else, the older I get and the older the world gets, the more people like to take and take and take. So many people steal people's Christmas gifts and things every year. And it is so sad to me because when you start giving, it is the best feeling in the world. Just the best. So many things I want to do. A shawl for my aunt now. Things for myself. I got a lot to get working on. So with that, I'm going to be getting off here. Oh, I wanted to show you. My aunt gave me something while we were there yesterday. She was going through one of her boxes, and I've never seen one of these before, and I thought it was so cool. Oops, as I knock everything out of it. Sorry about that. I wanted to pick it up before it ends up being on the floor. It is called a Mark Pods. Mark Pods will help you highlight anytime, anywhere, hassle-free. Clasp them to your book, paperbacks, or hardcovers. The magnets and silicone sheet in the case will help Mark Pods to stay securely clasped onto your book wherever you go. Silicone sheet. I guess I didn't. Oh, that right there. But when you pull it out, this is what it is. This must be the silicone sheet here. This is a magnet. I'm planning on putting this on my whip crate. My whip crate. My whip cart. Wow. But if you see this, these have arrows on them. So what it is you untwist these highlighters and then that makes it so they don't dry out. You put it back in here and then you twist it back on there. I just thought that was so cool. She gave me this one, which has two of my favorite colors. As you guys know, I made my pink and yellow sweater. Her favorite color is pink, so I thought she would have kept this one. The one she has, I think, has green and blue in it. So she gave me that. I thought that was so cool. Like I said, I've never seen it before. Comes in this nice box. Says it's designed in Europe, patent pending. So, don't know who she got it from. And then besides that, she gave me this cat, and she said it's a bookmark. But I don't know. I think that you might be able, I think I might be able to stick this to something. See that? Because if you look back here, it's got some kind of plastic covering on it, unless you just take it off and, you know, it's just shiny underneath it. But something, I just keep thinking that it's going to have sticky on it. I don't know. I haven't wanted to take it off yet, because if it does, I want to have some place to stick it to. I just thought that was so cute. I've seen this design like on different stickers and things. Such a cutie. For a minute, she handed it to me after she handed me the highlighters, and I thought it was supposed to go with them. What else did I want to tell you guys? Oh, I had my gynecologist appointment today. I've been telling you guys, you know, that I just haven't been feeling well, you know, and I haven't really gotten into anything about what was going on. I had to have a test. I thought I was going to be getting a biopsy, but I don't have to get it. So that's the good news. They found that I have some fibroid masses, and he showed me today. He said they're not considered very big. The one is probably about that size, and the other one is probably more like that size, from what he said. He said he could go test anybody, and he would expect them to come back having at least a couple fibroid masses. And so that alone isn't anything to worry about. They also took my FSH, which is my FSH hormone level, and that is fine. And they also did blood work, and my hemoglobin is fine. And he said that's significant because that means I'm not internally bleeding or doing anything like that. So, because of all of my prior surgeries and all of my scar tissue that I have, I've told you guys before that like all of my organs on the inside are attached to the inside of my body due to all the scar tissue, that your organs are supposed to be free floating in your body, but mine are stuck together and stuck against the walls of my body because of all the scar tissue that I have from all of my abdominal surgeries. So therefore, if he went in and even thought of doing a hysterectomy, that it could cause other issues. Now, if in the future we find out that I have some issue that warrants it, of course, we will have to, you know, to go in and do it. He said, but right now, everything looks fine. That he doesn't think that there could be any cancer there or anything, and nothing to worry about. So that was good news. The only issue is that I've got cramping that is still going on, and hopefully that will start going away on its own. I've been miserable. I've been in so much pain. But I'm just looking for the future. And something else he told me that I had completely turned around when it comes to female health and 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 your cervix and your uterus. If you bleed, and especially if you bleed a lot, and sorry if this is TMI, especially if there's any men out here listening, but this is kind of important. The reason I had to go get checked out and everything is because I had some breakthrough bleeding, and I'm already, you know, at least in perimenopause, if not in menopause already. So that was very concerning. I hadn't bled in 8 years, and I woke up one morning and I had a lot of bleeding. So they had to, you know, run these tests. I had to have what's called a transverse ultrasound, I think is the name of it. Anyway, not the fun one for those of you guys who've ever had one. The non, no ultrasounds are fun, but the very, very non-fun one. Anyway, I thought what I needed to worry about, because since I was bleeding so much, I had a lot of dark blood, like old, dark, yucky stuff. I thought that is okay, because on almost everything else that I have been that I've dealt with, especially like after surgeries and different things that I have to look for, if there's bleeding involved, you want the nice, bright red, fresh blood. And even some other female stuff that I've dealt with in the past, the doctor said as long as it was, you know, bright red, everything was fine. You have to worry about the darker stuff, you know, and especially like, well, my intestines, when we were dealing with my intestines, if I had anything dark, like coffee ground looking or whatever, it needed to be looked into. It needed to be checked. So I thought that there might be something wrong because of how much of the yucky stuff was there. And I didn't have a lot of the bright red fresh blood. And I explained that to him today. And he said, actually, you're turned around on that. He said, with everything else that's true, you know, like if we were looking at something intestinal or something like that, that is completely right and true. But when it comes to the uterus, that's backwards. That if it's old and dark and yucky, it's fine. It just means that it's been inside of there for a while and all of a sudden it's had a way to come out. Like I had an ablation back in 2012, I think it was. And so that kind of helps close up everything. So they figured that the lining must have moved or something, and that's why all of this happened and that I had the breakthrough bleeding. So, but otherwise everything is like in there, and that's why it was probably so dark and yuck. And again, I hope that wasn't TMI, but it was something important, and I figured that people need to know because I was completely backwards on it, and I can see, you know, some other people, if they've had other experiences like I have, or if you've had your, oh, I always forget, colonoscopy. If you've had a colonoscopy and you're told, you know, look for this one, but this one's okay, that it's completely flipped when it comes to the uterus. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now. And I will hopefully be back tomorrow and I will show you my whips and stuff. Maybe even sit down and crochet with you guys for a while. Thinking there's something else I wanted to tell you though. Oh, my nurse that I have now in Chicago at the study, she knits. So I'm kind of excited. She crochets too. She said she only dabbles at it. She loves to knit though, and she's actually thinking of designing sometime. So that's kind of exciting. And she told me she would help me with learn how to make socks. She said they are so easy. She's like, I will help you. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. And now that I'm thinking about that, I need to go and check and see. I want to get, there's a sock ruler that if you happen to watch Hannah from the Cozy Crochet Cottage, that she has an affiliate link for twice sheared sheep, I believe it is, and they have this sock ruler, and she never had used one. And when she used it, she's like, it's just the greatest thing ever. And socks come out perfect every time, the right size, and so I want to invest in one of those for when I start making socks. And now that I found out that they can be so easy, I was scared because DPNs and this and that. And she's like, oh, I just use the magic loop and I'll teach you how to do it. And it's so easy. And I was like, yay. So I can't wait. I have issues with my socks. I can put on loose socks and I still get marks from them. And I have a really big issue wearing acrylic socks because they get so tight around your feet. They just tighten and tighten, and the more they're washed, the more they seem to get smaller and tighten. And I always end up looking like my legs are swollen up really, really huge. And the sad thing is sometimes my legs do swell up, so I need to know exactly when they are swollen or if it's just looking like they are because of my socks. And cotton is just so much more comfortable with my neuropathy. Acrylic will set off the tingly feeling, but if I wear all cotton socks, then I don't get that as much. So something else I've been learning might help some of you. For those, I know a lot of you have neuropathy as well. So with that, I'm going to go. Please remember, you matter. I love you guys. If you need me, I am here. Send me an email. You all matter. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. And I love you guys so, so much. And I will see you soon. Talk to you later.